Hello there and welcome back to another gluten-free and yeast-free baking video. How are you doing today? Today I'm going to be making a gluten-free apple pie. As I said last week, I wanted to make a lot more pies and I wanted to move into more sweet pies. So let's get started making this lovely apple pie. You will be needing the following equipment: a chopping board, some scales, some measuring spoons, a knife, an apple corer, a peeler, a pastry brush, a wooden spoon or spatula, some baking paper, some foil, a ladle, another knife, a rolling pin, a large mixing bowl. You will be needing 2 of these unless you are very quick at washing up, and a 22cm round pie dish. You will also be needing the following ingredients. For your pie filling, you will be needing 140 grams of caster sugar plus extra for sprinkling on top of your pie when it's ready to go in the oven, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 900 grams of Bramley Cooking Apples. These need to be peeled, cored and sliced. Don't worry if they go brown like mine, because with the cinnamon and the sugar they're going to go brown anyway when they're cooking, so don't worry about it too much. I mean, they're not off or anything, it's just they just discolour. If you do have a problem with it in terms of visually, you can rub your apples before you cut them or after you cut them, I can't remember the order, in some lemon juice if it bothers you that much. And for your pastry, you will be needing 200 grams of gluten free plain flour, 2 tablespoons of caster sugar, 110 grams of butter cold, I like to use lactose free butter, some water. You will be needing enough to equal 4 to 6 tablespoons, and 1 medium sized egg beaten. You will only be needing this when you are cooking your pie. Let's go! First things first, measure and prepare all of your ingredients so that they're completely ready for you to use. After we have done this, we are going to be needing to start making our pie filling. So for that we are going to be needing our first large mixing bowl, our wooden spoon or spatula, whatever you're deciding to use, our caster sugar and our ground cinnamon. Okay, so now that we've got this lot, we are going to begin by placing all of our caster sugar into our mixing bowl. And now we're going to place in our ground cinnamon, making sure we get as much as we can in there. Shouldn't really be using these, but I think they're so cute that I just can't really pass up on it. And now we're going to mix these together until they are well combined. Now that this is done and smelling absolutely incredible, grab your apples. Now that we've got our apples, we are going to place our apples into our sugar and cinnamon mixture and mix together until all of our apples are completely covered. Now, I chose the wrong bowl for this, so I'm just going to wing it. There we go. Camel. There we go. Now, let's see how good I am at this. No, it's probably best to do it in half batches, guys, okay? Make sure your hands are clean because you're going to be touching these things. I haven't made this in ages. And I'm so excited. Camel. Okay, let's start with this and see how we get on. And just take your time, there's no hurry on it at all. And you'll see what I mean about the apples going brown. They just do if you don't cover them in lemon juice, but honestly, they're going to get brown when they cook, so it's not a big issue at all. It's just personal preference. Plus, if you do the lemon, you may get a lemon feeling, taste. So it's completely up to you. You know, I'm only a guide at the end of the day. I'm giving you the tools. What you decide to do with it is up to you. Now, they seem to be quite well coated, so I am now going to add the rest of this in and hope to goodness that I can do this without it going everywhere. Tell you, if you want an arm workout, this recipe is going to be the one that does it for you. Another way you could do this, actually, thinking about it, is placing your apple slices onto a baking tray and sprinkling the sugar over it, the sugar cinnamon mixture over it. That might not be a bad idea, so if you find that easier, do that. I think I should have done that at this point. Now, how's the bottom looking? Because if that's just pure sugar, yes it is, so I need to mix this some more. I need a bigger bowl. Also, my dog Magic is down here and she's fast asleep, so if you hear snoring, that's what it is. I don't know if I should be putting a disclaimer at the beginning of this or not. I just, you know, majority of the time she's down here with me because she follows me. Oh no! Because she follows me around, bless her, it's really cute. But that's what I like about her breed, she's a Cavapoo. And she just follows me around and I absolutely love it. Because she's my best friend, you know, so... Well, other than my mum. Right, they are starting to look well covered. How's the bottom looking? Yeah, that's looking much better, so let's get all this off the spatula. So now that this is all mixed and smelling, oh, like a proper apple pie, we are now going to grab our ladle and our round pie dish. So now that we've got our ladle and our round pie dish, we're going to place our apple mixture into our pie and then set it off to the side until we're ready to bake. It doesn't matter if the apples overflow a little bit, that is supposed to happen because I wanted this to be a really full filling of apple pie. Apple pie of apple filling, mixture, whatever. It's too early in the morning for me to be doing this, guys, I tell you. I find this easier than actually just tipping it in because, you know, if you just tip it in, like I did with the apples earlier, it gets in a complete muddle. So now just give this a little bit of a jiggle around to try and get it as flat as we can. But again, you know, it's really full, which I like. I don't like pie filling, I don't like pies, sorry, where it is just all pastry. So this is one of the reasons why I love it so much. Get in there. Get in there, boy. Okay. So now we are going to scrape the mixing bowl down with all of this sugary apple flavoured mixture in it on top, and just drizzle it on top of our apples so we don't lose any of the flavour at all. Okay, and now set this off to the side until we're ready to bake. So now that we've made our pie filling, it is now time to make our pie pastry. So for this we are going to be needing our caster sugar and our flour and our tablespoon. So now that we've got our flour, our caster sugar and our tablespoon, we're going to place all of our sugar into our flour bowl. And now we're going to mix these together until they are well combined. Probably using a better bowl, bigger bowl would be better, guys. So now that we've done all this, grab your large mixing bowl, your spatula and your cold butter. So now that we've got our cold butter, our spatula and our large mixing bowl, we are going to place all of our butter into the mixing bowl. Wow, that is really cold. Spreading it out, well, spreading the butter out, sorry, I should be better at explanations by now. Poppy has now decided to join us, so again, if you hear background noise, that's what it is. So that it is roughly even everywhere in the bowl. And now sprinkle on your flour and sugar mixture, covering all of the batter. So now, after removing all of our jewellery from our hands, i.e. rings, we are now going to begin rubbing our butter and our flour mixture together until it resembles breadcrumbs. There will be a time when it starts to come together in your hands. Stop at that point, or if you can, stop before, because otherwise it just doesn't make the pastry go good. Trust me, I've been there. So let's get on with this, shall we? And I think that is a good time to stop. So now that this is done, keeping hold of your spatula and your tablespoon, grab your water and your knife. Now that we've got our knife and our water, we are going to add a tablespoon of our water to our butter, flour and sugar mix at a time, using a knife to cut it through the pastry until it starts to resemble a dough ball. You will need to do this really until it starts to do that, because I've had experiences where it's needed 4 to 6 tablespoons, and the last couple of videos they've only needed 3 tablespoons. So it completely really depends on your environment, how hot your room is, how cold it is. So, you know, it just depends. Just keep doing it, and then after every addition of water, just rub your spatula around the edge of your mixing bowl and start trying to bring it together with your spatula. That will tell you more than anything how much or how well it is coming together. So let's get on with this, shall we? Magic, you do know how to snore, don't you? Nope. Yeah, it's getting there. That looks like it could be there. We'll soon find out. Oh. Yep. Give that bit a little bit more of a cut, because the water doesn't seem to have gone in right there. But yeah, I would definitely say that's there. So let's try forming it together. Okay. So I would say that's there, because it is like pastry. So now we're going to place this back in the bowl. So now that we have made our pastry, grab your baking paper. So now we are just going to tear off some baking paper, just enough so that it can wrap the dough up. There we go. Place that one side. Now, don't do what you did before and roll up, because it's not helpful. Put you here. Put you here. Stop it. There we go. You can flatten it out if you want, or you can keep it round. You're going to be rolling it anyway, so I just prefer trying to give it a little bit of help, because then it hopefully does better in the fridge. I don't know. I'm not a fanatic about this, guys. I don't 100% know what I'm doing, but that's the fun of it. You know, I'm a home baker. I'm not a chef. And I'm certainly not going to pretend to be one. So now that this is done, place your pastry into your fridge for half an hour. It doesn't matter if it's a bit longer to harden. Now that our pastry is out of the fridge, now would be a good time to preheat our oven. So we're going to need to preheat our oven to 200 degrees C on a conventional oven, 180 degrees C on a fan oven, or gas mark 6. So now that our pastry is out of the fridge, as I said earlier, grab your rolling pin, some extra flour to roll, some baking paper and your pie dish. Now if you don't have a lot of workspace, you can use your chopping board to roll this on if you prefer, but I'm going to use baking paper as I think that's slightly easier to transfer the pastry onto the pie dish. The reason I've got the pie dish is so that I can judge how big, should I say, that I need to roll this out to. So, roll the topping out to. Anyway, so we're going to cut another piece of baking paper. A little bit bigger so it's got room to spread out when it rolls. Got it. Stay there. Stay. Sprinkle on some flour. As I say, you can do this on a chopping board. It's whatever's easiest for you. Probably a good idea to roll up my sleeves. Ah no, this top's going to need to go in the wash. That's fine. Spread out the flour so it's got a good coating all over the baking paper. Now unwrap your pastry. Get rid of the wrapped pastry. Bye bye. Okay. Oh, what are you doing? Sprinkle some extra flour on top of our pastry. Rub it on our hands and then place it onto our rolling pin. And then just begin rolling until it is the size of your round pie dish. Okay. So how big is that compared to this? Not too bad, a little bit thinner I think. You want it so that the pastry will hang over the edge of your pie dish a little bit, just so you've got that extra wriggle room. Okay, now let's check this. Okay, that's plenty of room. Now, how am I going to do this? I've never been good at this part of it, so I'm going to place this here. Get this out of my way and get the rolling pin out of my way. So I've got loads of room to work with. Okay, so hopefully this is going to work. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Haha, it worked! Woohoo! Okay, so got a little bit of falling apart here. But that's okay because, you know, it's homemade. It doesn't matter if it's a bit of a hack job. Now, don't be mad at me, but I forgot to mention that you were supposed to put a rim of your beaten egg, which I will sheepishly get now, around the edge of your pie dish. Don't fall. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, I feel so stupid now, but it wouldn't be a Vickiie video if something didn't go wrong. No, I'm not going to try. I'm going to fail massively if I try and do that. So just try and crimple this to the edge of your pastry, to the edge of your pie dish, sorry. And now grab a knife and cut off any excess. Okay, so now that you've got all this excess, you can do what you like with it. You could make little leaves to go on top if you wanted, around the edges and things like that. It's completely up to you. I'm personally not going to do anything with it because I think I've messed this up as much anyway as it is. So I'm just going to place this off to the side and out of my way for a minute. So now that this is all here, I told you it wouldn't be a Vickiie video if there wasn't a hatch job. Now we're going to place a little X in the middle of our pie, cutting through the pastry. This is so that it has a steam hole, so it can let out all the steam, hence its name. There we go. That's looking lovely. So you can now, with a fork or something, add a little decoration around the edge of your rim if you wanted. I have done that before and it's looked amazing, but I'm keeping this as simple as possible because I don't want to mess anything else up. So we're now going to give our pastry a bit of an egg wash with our beaten egg that I told you about at the beginning of this video. Just so it goes that nice golden colour when it bakes. Okay, I like the look of that. And now grab some caster sugar. Now that we've got our caster sugar, we are just going to open it up. And give our pie a little sprinkling on top of it. Give it that nice caramelised feel to it. Okay. Now that this is all done, looking great and is ready to go in the oven, we are going to place it into the oven for 35 to 40 minutes. If you find that the pastry starts to brown too much on the edges, you can place it around place it around. You can add foil around the edge of it, that will stop it browning anymore, hence the foil, but you don't need it for actually baking the pie. I'm not going to give you a cooling time unless you want to cool it, because I prefer it being served hot. And that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out all the links in the description, as I love them all, wouldn't put them there if I didn't, including the recipe for this lovely pie and my shop where you'll be able to buy all of the flour and equipment you would need for this recipe. If you do make this at home, don't forget to tag me on Instagram and use the hashtag bakingwithvickiie. Let me know in the comments of anything you'd like to see me make gluten or yeast free, as I do both. And finally, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more. I will see you next time. Bye!